1953 Zephyr. It's a one-owner car, so it's been in the same family pretty much. It had all its paint taken off 5 years ago, so it was extremely rusty when it came to us. Lisanne's worked really hard to try and get all of the rust out of the metal without having to shock blast it, because then you get panel distortion and stuff like that. We've replaced all of this section of the wings. Everything's been de-trimmed and lead loaded instead of using body filler. We like doing things the old-fashioned way. But this is basically here for full body sculpture. We're going to radius the rear arches, which basically means the same thing that we did on the Gasser a few months ago, just making them round instead of flat. It's having a full roll cage put in it and a 650 horsepower small block Chevy. So he's going to use it for a little bit of racing, but he's also going to drive it around the streets. It's just going to go black. He wants it to look like it did when it came out of the factory, so he doesn't want a completely mirror finish like a modern day custom paint job. He just wants it to be honest, like the day it was when it came out of the factory originally. So, and all the underneath's been done. The underneath of the car was all done by Jeff Hauser. He builds top quality race cars anyway. And then it's come here for body and paint basically, and a roll cage. So yeah, this is a nice job to have in, because you're working with solid cars straight away. There's been a bit of rot in it that we've cut out, and a few repairs that weren't done too good over the years, so we've cut all of that out and redone them. And all it needs is a little profile up with some dolphin glaze, which is a very light filler, and then it will be spray filled, blocked back, and then high build primer, and then black. It's a long process, but yeah, it's going to be nice. Basically, that's your old wing that sits in there. This is what these cars are famous for, is having that nice shape in there. But because of the width of the wheels and the stance of the car and the power that it's going to generate, we're going to radius the arches so they follow the line of the tyre. Basically, this outside edge of the tyre. So that will be followed round, and then it'll all be swaged out, nice little lip return. Shame really, because that's a classic line. I like the lines, but it'll also look quite cool with a radius arch. Because he's going for potentially slightly wider wheels than this, we've got to push the axle back a little bit, which obviously means adjusting where your hole sits inside this panel, and then you can pretty much work out where it's going to be from there. So we can push the axle back probably about 1.5 inches, which will get you back to here, and then you'll start your radius from that point. Well, all these cars are hand built anyway, so they're bespoke built. And you can pretty much measure off of a centre point or a fixed point. So the B pillar on the car, you would like to think is going to be the same both sides from factory. So you just measure off of a fixed point of the B pillar back to the centre line of your wheel arch, and then work backwards from there. It's quite straightforward. I love doing all this sort of stuff, more so than paint.